flap away from the lens now, so it doesn't cover it up.
It's on now.
Okay, how you doing?
Doing good.
This is what I'm working on recently. This is the box I designed for what I'm going to show you. This pencil plaque, which is made up of lots of pencils and I use a ruler to measure the shape of this board, and as you can see, if you get in close, you see the pencils are different, angled different ways, diagonal, horizontal, vertical, and I just cut them off with this saw, hacksaw, which cuts through it very easily. And sometimes I cut the erasers off with the little gold band at the bottom of the pencil. I cut that off, and I even use them, as you can see. Are you close enough? The little erasers are on the sides and on this side. And this has a chain at the top. Which you use a little metal screw loop like this, called a screw eye, and it screws very easily into the top of the wood. But once it's done, I use this acrylic gloss. It goes on white but dries clear, and I just glaze it, tops and the sides real good. Sometimes 2 coats. Make sure I get into all the cracks and behind the pencils. When you look in on the side, there's little crevices at the bottom, and in between the pencils, in between the lead, the points at the top and at the bottom and on the sides. And I make sure I glaze it all real good. And then when it dries, this protects, especially if it hangs outside. And of course, you don't have to make it two-sided. You can make it one-sided and just mount it on the wall. And I put these little blocks at the bottom. It's kind of a little accent. And you can use any color you want, spray paint, to color those. This is blue. And of course, I tie them on with fishing line. Usually I use a 30 pound. This is 15. I usually use a 30. It's pretty strong. And of course, cut it off with scissors. And once it's dry, I had to have something to keep it in, to carry it in, so I designed this box. It has my picture on it. And I even used the cloth to cover it up, because sometimes I make some and sell them. And I spray the inside again with spray paint. Use any color you want. Spray the outside and decorate it. I usually use a Sharpie marker to put my name on it or whatever. That's up to you. This little cloth kind of gives it a little more class. As you can see, this is the shape, just about the same shape, so it fits like a glove. Then, you could even wrap it up like a present, which sometimes I did. Mostly school teachers buy these. And see, makes a very neat little package. Great way to display or sell, whatever. you just so desire. It's a little different from what I've made here with pencils. And as you can see here, I got pencils of all different colors. So you can use as many colors as you want. When you use a variety of colors, it makes it more interesting as opposed to just one solid color, which you can do that too. Can you see those? Got lots of different colors of pencils. But this model here is in the working stages. Of course, this has a chain on it, because this is a hanging piece. And because it hangs, it also twirls, which makes it kinetic art. And this is still in a work in progress, as you can see. It hasn't been painted yet. And of course, you don't have to paint it, but you can. And the way this is done is really simple. Of course, there are variations, but basically, to show people a working model, what I do is I start with a block similar to this, which is wood. You can use a softer wood. This is deck lumber, so this is pretty hard, but you can use something a little softer if you want to. And what I do, can you see that? Is take a block. This is your block, like what I showed you. Since this is a hanging piece, then you have to find a chain like this. It doesn't have to be this big, but any chain is pretty sturdy, especially if it's going to hang outside. Make sure it's pretty strong. Then you put a loop in there like this, metal loop. It's called a screw eye. There's a loop at the top and a screw at the bottom to screw into wood. You can take a hammer to start your hole at the top, and then it should go in pretty easy. Your screw eye goes in here at the top. Can you see that? Then I start with one pencil on one side, like that, and glue it down with a strong craft glue like Aleene's, which you can find in Hobby Lobbies, Michael's, Walmart, pretty much anywhere. And let it sit overnight for the maximum strength. Take another pencil and glue it down on this side. So that's two, right? And then you begin to do the math. And I come across this way with the pencil, and this way with the pencil, which gives you how many? 4, right? So then next, I go diagonal this way. Diagonal, which gives us 6. Then I come across this way, diagonal. And now you got 8. 8 pencils on just one side. Okay? Then I turn it to another side. Side 1 would have 8 pencils. And then the next side, and I do the same thing, which is 8. Which will give you what? 16. Then I turn it to the bottom, or the ends like that. And try to put on as many as I can. And so I begin to turn the block each side and just keep turning the block to another side. Any side that's missing pencils, I add another one. And I add another one, and I add another one, and then another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Up and down, crisscross, crisscross. Until eventually you can't see any pencils at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not even a loop. Eventually all you see are pencils. Can you see a block there at all?
Mm-mm.
Which is the general idea. See, by that time, you don't have to need a ruler at all. But you just start adding pencils wherever you find a spot. And so I just turn it different ways and look for a spot. Any spot that'll hold a pencil. Then I always do a test fit before I add the glue.
Mm-hmm.
I insert a pencil dry with no glue. Like right here, that's a pretty good fit because it sits. See how it sits?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't fall out. Like here, like maybe right here, not a good fit because it fell.
Mm-hmm.
But something that'll sit in there by itself and lay in there without glue, like that, that'll stay. So I coat the top with glue. And when I put it in, I turn it. And by turning it, you spread the glue around the pencil. And of course, you let that sit overnight. And each time you add a pencil, it gains strength. You get stronger and stronger and stronger. And then you can quit anytime you want. Bigger or smaller. And once it's done, you can leave it like this, which is okay. But I like a more of a finished look, so with this one, I changed colors. So I added colors. You can change colors as many times as you want. It's spray paint, which covers all the areas. You don't miss anything. This is blue. Of course, you got red, and you got pink, and green. And that's up to you. Whatever color you like, you can use. And you just spray it, and you hang it up. You have this nice little star, whatever you want to call it. And the chain is secure, as you can see. That will not come out. But remember, always do that first before you add any pencils. Secure your chain in the top of the block first. Screw it down. Use a thick screw eye, not a small one, not like this. This is too little. It might pull out. Use a thick one to get maximum strength. Turn it all the way down to the base as much as you can. And if your fingers get tired, stick a screwdriver through the loop like this to give you more strength. See? For your hands. You know, if you got small fingers, and your fingers get tired, use this. Stick a screwdriver in that. Then now you got an extra handle for more power. And screw it all the way down. And it'll hold. And that's what you got. Fun with pencils. That's all we got for today. We will see you next time.
Okay.